Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Hippie Dippy Show. I'm one of your hosts, Cassidy Bowker.
I'm another one of your hosts, Bo Bowker.
And I'm Jeffrey J.
Hi, Jeffrey J.
Welcome to the Hippie Dippy Show.
Yeah, welcome you. We're back at the Liberty Motel. This is the library of the Liberty Motel.
Yeah. It looks like the set of Modern Family or something.
Yeah, it really does. I would have. There's too many cookbooks on the shelf, along with football stuff.
Yeah. There's your helmet, your old football. This is a green screen background for Jeff, by the way, for all those watching and not listening on the iTunes.
Yeah, I've got apartment stuff going on right now, but luckily I also at the same time have a green screen, so I can just set up a fake house whenever I need to.
And he can't have his apartment scene. He's like Derek, Dexter. Derek's a very different show.
I like to think of Jeffrey J as the ghost of the little boy that once lived in that room.
Yeah. Mama, where are you?
Oh my God. We're doing a nighttime episode. Hey. I don't know if everybody knows, but like we usually do this during the day, and this is the nighttime episode, so it's gonna be real sexy.
Yeah.
The freaks come out at night.
You got a lot of energy. Did you teach yoga today?
No. I was having cacao meetings and such.
Oh, so did you eat and drink a lot of cacao today?
I sure did.
Yeah, too much. The way it feels to be in the same room.
I actually feel quite grounded, just really joyful.
That's awesome. I have a question, because I have my cacao here, which I made very hastily before the podcast. But I think I did it right, because you gave me some of your cacao, which is specifically Kevin's cacao. It's Keith's. It's Keith's cacao.
Bo's cacao.
Karen's
cacao.
This is Keith's cacao.
It's Karen's cacao. We don't wear a mask while we drink it.
Oh, man.
So I had some of your Keith's cacao in a little, what looked like a drug baggie that you gave me. And then I did water in it. And then I put cayenne pepper and cinnamon in it. And then what else I put honey in it. I've got some local honey that I put in it.
Ooh.
So was that a bit of my rebel for sweetening my cacao?
Ooh, that's a good excuse.
Yeah, right?
No, I sweeten my cacao. I use coconut sugar or honey. Yeah.
Ooh.
Guess what I do? I'm such a dude. I make mine worse. I put in mushroom.
Do you really?
Yeah, just like mushroom powder.
Oh, that's so good. I had mushroom coffee that was fantastic.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
So this is perfect because this is the cacao episode, you guys. That's why we're talking cacao. For those that don't know, because up until a year or two ago, I had no idea what cacao was. I just pronounced it cocoa.
Yeah.
But it's a plant medicine. But it doesn't trip you out the same way. It's not like ayahuasca or something. You're not going to poop yourself and be all over the place.
Like that's what you take from ayahuasca.
Hey, no, that's like my biggest fear of doing ayahuasca. It's like, oh my God, wait, so if we do this together, like if you poop on me, I'm going to have a real problem with it. Like it's going to affect my trip, my journey.
Supposedly it doesn't really happen like that, you guys. There's a specific dieta that you need to follow leading up to your ayahuasca journey, and you end up cleansing your body. It's like a vegan type of diet, and then yeah. So maybe you might purge a little.
Yeah.
Barf.
That's what we call purging.
It's gonna look like Double Dare all over the place. when you do ayahuasca, and then you go on a trip, you babies from the future and stuff like that.
Can we take a moment to appreciate that new game show, The Floor is Lava?
Oh yeah, have you seen it yet?
We love it.
Yeah, here's why it's cool too, is because it's the first like show we can watch as a family.
Yeah.
Where our kids are like super into it.
Oh.
It's like a big moment in our family history.
Really?
Around a game show called
Wow, a garbage show is your first show together.
Sponsored by what
was
Jeff?
that, Jeff?
I said, okay, so that garbage show is the first show you get to watch together. I haven't seen it. I'll tell you that. But, and maybe you can tell me that I'm wrong, but...
You're not necessarily wrong.
Wait a second. Jeffrey J., you are one of the most fun friends I have in life. You are the most fun friend, the most thoughtful friend who brought tons of kites to our children's birthday party and made it the party of COVID-19. Wait a second. No, it wasn't a COVID-19 party. It was the party of quarantine. Welcome to the nighttime podcasting.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. Well, okay, I figured it out. Here's why Jeff thinks that show is garbage, is because he's too busy actually playing Floor is Lava in his living room.
I play it all the time. I definitely played it today as I was cleaning. I had to jump from one thing to the next. Here's my problem with things that I think are going to be awesome, and here's why I've prejudged it, and I shouldn't have. Because I want to like so many shows, and then announcers ruin it, and the fake hype up of things and people's backstories that I don't give a shit about ruin everything.
You're right.
Well, wait a second here. I just can't believe this is coming from you, Doug. You guys switch bodies or something? What's going on here? First of all, we were once almost contestants on a game show, you guys.
Oh yeah, the three of us.
So we were in those final. They were loving our guts.
We auditioned for a show.
We don't even know what it was.
Together. Do you remember what it was,
Some game show. We don't know. They never
No, but they loved us so much, and then we couldn't do it because something happened, and we were all separated. In some way. I don't even know how we would have described us as a trio. Like, what do you say with the three of us? Like, they're married, but I'm, like, kind of in there. Like, what do you... How do you make it fun?
Right, without it, people just assuming that we're a throuple.
Absolutely. Like, what is this weird hype? Is that their kid?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just weird enough for people to be like, what is this situation?
That's so funny. That's probably why we didn't get on the show. They're like, people won't believe this.
No.
These three just hang out as people.
No.
He's too old to be married to that person.
Yeah. They hired that kid for something.
Yeah, he's a show kid.
Yeah. So the Floor is Lava is good, huh?
It's good.
It's good because look, I love some bad summertime TV. I love how bad summertime television is.
What else is bad? What else?
I'll give you that, and I'll tell you real quick, just to say that, like, I do get it. I jumped the gun. We got an Airbnb recently, me and Emma, and they only had regular TV, and some new show called Tag came on.
Oh, how was that?
Amazing, because it was so bad. It's like American Gladiators meets parkour meets tag.
That's great.
And
it
was very bad, and we watched 3 episodes.
So I get it. I love that, and I want to watch that show. And last thing that I'll say about game shows is like, so on my birthday a couple weeks ago, thanks for all the listeners that didn't say a word about my birthday. I'm just kidding. But Cassidy and I went away, and like, we don't drink very much anymore. And we had like, Cassidy's like, let's have some drinks. And then so we did. We had a couple drinks. And a couple drinks for me is like I just drink tequila. And
Yeah,
so
you drink Patron like straight or with on the rocks or something.
And so I had 2 doubles.
Good
And so
Lord.
I was just like real buzzed at the end of the night, but like in a good way, like mostly
Yeah.
in a good way. And then we were like,
You didn't poop yourself or anything.
No.
That's a story for another podcast episode.
Okay. You know what?
It was the same night that he learned about how women pee. You learned about how fast Bo can poop.
So we were like back at the hotel, and I was like, let's watch a game show. Like, I don't know why that sounded. She's like, yeah, like it just sounded really great. And I don't even know what the name of the show is, but it's hosted by Adam Scott
This was
and
the
produced
worst.
by
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And then and have you heard of the show, Jeff? It's
like jump through the hole.
Jump through the wall or
Oh.
something like that.
Yeah.
Or something. It's something about a wall.
No, thank you.
And you answer a question, and then you, based on which multiple choice A, B, or C you answer, you pick that wall, and then you try to run through it.
Yeah.
And then if you're right, you get to run through the wall, and if not, you just run into a wall.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Like, they just thought of it yesterday, and we're like, put it on immediately.
Yeah.
Because nobody stopped and was like, wait, so
Why?
Well, yeah, why are they running through a wall? And
Because
then
it's hilarious if they smack their face and they're wrong.
But it wasn't. I was hoping that it would be, and it wasn't. And then like people would like crash through it, and then they just get up and kind of walk back to where they originally started, and we're like,
Let me tell you what happens when the floor is lava. If the floor is lava, when you fall into that lava, you have to go like.
So they have to be dramatic.
They do, yeah. They do a good job on the camera work because you never see that person again. So you get to actually pretend that they're dead from lava.
No, okay. I love it.
But I'm with you on cheesy announcing is just, it's rough. Because all I can do is think of like, they must be limiting what this guy is allowed to say.
I know that we could do better, but you're doing to the most, like the least common denominator American.
Totally. Yeah. Just very like safe and like, this is a family show. Don't say anything.
Yeah, it's the reason AFV isn't better because America's Funniest Home Videos has the potential. If they let me announce that, if me and you announced America's Home Videos, the 3 of us doing AFV would be a dream.
Isn't there a version of that with what's his name? Is that
Daniel Tosh?
Rob Deerdick?
Yeah, an equally unfunny person.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy, Rob.
Hey, let's get this guy's show. He skateboards.
Yeah.
I like him.
I like him too, but not as an announcer.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I'm gonna say I love you guys and take a sip of my cacao, and then we'll talk about what a real ritual is.
Okay, so let's yes, you're right. Enough summertime game show talk. Let's get to our cacao, you guys. The plant medicine, and look, Cassidy is she's the cacao pro. Literally, she teaches classes on it.
Yeah, you're paid for it, so you're a professional actually now.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, Cassidy went to Guatemala. And I mean, that's not just like a fun fact. Like that's where the cacao is and everything. Like,
she went to see her family there.
He's left-handed.
You guys are so funny. When you guys are on stage and you're like bringing in one of your comedian friends, you're like, "Here's Gina Marie. She's dropped the mic at the ha-ha. She's the funniest host of the blah blah blah. Here she is. Ah!" Anyways. And it's like this great drawn out. I always sit there in the audience and I'm like, wow, man, how do they know all those things, all those people? Those people tell them to say those things. It's so cool. And then you guys announce me. She's a pro. She paid for her schooling. Went a trip to Guatemala.
I will announce you like a motherfucker right now. Just this broad We're lucky to have her. Oh God, no, I can't, because I was gonna go, as I've got too much power right now.
Oh, no.
No, it's harder because I will tell you, when you're introducing someone on stage, you're being incredibly fake.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Because you also don't want to be real, because if you hype someone up too much, it's terrible. And most of the time, you honestly just don't know them. I'll be honest. Most of the time, you ask them for a credit, and then you mess up their name. And
yeah. I just ask her, I'm like, what do you want me to say? And most people, like, or a lot of people, and especially like the more seasoned they are and the bigger they get, they're like, just say he's a good friend of mine. Just say he's a good friend, because also they don't want it to be built up.
Nope.
So yeah, the best comics I know just say he's a good friend of mine.
Yep.
Like, or they give you one thing that was like a big thing that they did.
We should play. Can we play a quick game? Okay, first let me just make a note. We're gonna do Cacao, you guys. We're gonna do Cacao. It's so simple. How is so simple?
In the meantime, I'm trying to get on her Cacao level, like, cause it's starting to hit me, and I just want more.
You're so little, Jeff. It's like, there's got to be.
You have one of those pumps. One of those pumps on your chair.
Yeah.
So you can scoot up a little bit.
No, it wasn't my point.
I know, but I am so low right now. Oh, I just made myself lower. I feel like a hobbit.
No, my point was that it only takes a little cacao to hit him.
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like Frodo when Gandalf hands him a real-sized cup, and he's like, "Oh, thank you." This is a regular-sized cup, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little big, but it's not. I just have tiny hands.
Yeah.
All right. So what's our game?
No, what's the game, Josh?
Okay, so let me just preface this by saying that the Cacao spirit is full of joy and loves to play and loves to create. And so a lot of people who are creatives, right? Artists, musicians, writers, actors, when you're kind of gearing up for any expression of any kind, you might want to have a little cacao, right? Even if it's just during your day, right? You want to play a little, you want to be heart-led rather than in your head, right? Because the caffeine in coffee is a central nervous system stimulant, right? So that's why I get that zing, and right away you're in your head, you're awake. So cacao is a little bit different, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. Let's play our game first. Cacao has theobromine. Theobromine is a molecule that's similar to that of caffeine, but different in the sense of it's a cardiac stimulant. Okay, so this is why it gets its open heart, cacao heart medicine type of name and background. So, because I've been drinking cacao all day and eating cacao all day.
In a wonderful way, but you are just... It's wonderful. I love it, but
I'm also so exhausted.
I know, but
baby wrangling
it's just
and swimming and 100 and God knows how many degrees it is here in Santa Clarita all day. Can you tell by my skin? I'm just so thin. Woo! It's been a long day. Anyways, so this is a fun game. A little bit of improv. So I think we should all take turns introducing each other for an event. So you have to throw out the event. So Jeffrey J, since you're here on my left side, Jeffrey J, you pick for Bo. Bo will pick for me, and I'll pick for Jeffrey J.
Wait, so is the point of the game that we're trying to, what we would do if we were introducing somebody, like if I had to introduce you for something?
Yes. Okay. So, but don't think too much, okay? Because this is what Bo teaches me about improv. You can't think too much. You have to be really quick.
Jeff does improv.
Well, okay, so if this is improv, then is this real? Or can I say anything I want about Bo right now?
Anything you want.
Anything you want. So you pick for Jeffrey J. Wait. Jeffrey J picks for Bo. Bo picks for me, and I pick for Jeffrey J.
What am I picking for them?
You pick. I don't know. What do you think, you guys? Like a place, like what are we introducing you for? Like you're speaking at an event, or you're doing a comedy at a place, or
who am I picking for?
Or you're talking.
Who am I picking for?
You pick for me. I pick for Jeff. See, we're going in order of the.
Who are you introducing?
Shoot. I introduced. Oh, well, see.
You're introducing Jeff. All right. Okay.
I love everything that's going on right now. This is making me so happy.
You're introducing Jeff, and your suggestion is you are introducing him at he is the keynote speaker at a latex convention.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, here at the 2020 Los Angeles Latex Convention.
Nobody does the audience. Go on. Go on.
We are now proud and pleased to announce Jeffrey J.
What are his qualifications?
Yeah.
Wait.
You give the qualifications after you say my name?
He's coming out to music right now, you guys. What's Jeffrey J's song?
Girls just want to have fun.
He's doing like an Ellen dance.
Oh no, don't Ellen dance me.
Audience is loving it. Audience is like,
what are they saying? Oh, okay. Now I get it. Jeff's crying.
You know him best. From the Target shelves. Latex no more. I'm not good at it.
Which is why, of course, you
at a latex convention, and his products that is all over Target says latex assassinated.
No, he revamped the latex industry. Here he is.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason you're all out of business now, the man of the hour.
Oh my.
I just got a big fat X. Okay.
Oh, this is why I love you so much.
I'm minus 1 point. Okay, who's next?
You're so funny.
So now
oh my god.
Jeffrey J, what he's announcing Bo for?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Okay, ready?
I want to hear Jeff's speech.
For the latex place.
All right, what is he introducing?
All right. Oh, shit.
Unless you want to give the latex speech.
Okay, you are introducing Bo.
Yeah, whisper so that Bo can't hear.
He's being announced as the new VP for Sunrise Senior Living Communities. New Vice President, Sunrise Senior Living.
Oh my god.
The Groundlings.
Action.
Oh yeah. Action. All right. Is this on? Is it? Can you? That thing that happens with the. Okay, got it. It doesn't matter. Nobody can hear me anyway. They're all old. Hey guys. Thanks for wheeling out tonight. We have a very special guest. No, he's not your nephew. Please welcome the new VP of Senior Living. You've seen him on AARP magazine. You've seen him buying shirts in the same store as you. You've seen him going out for dates with your niece. Please welcome Mr. Bo Elizabeth Bowker. and then he comes on and I walk out and you hear because I still have the latex on from the latex convention. And now I'm off stage.
Oh my god.
Wow, that was good.
I also want to point out that I appreciate that this is a senior living community only for uncles and aunts because they only have nephews and nieces.
Hey, your grandkids. No grandkids here.
Ain't your grandpa's senior living community.
This is a senior living community for people aged 35 to 50. It's a pre-senior living.
That was excellent. Oh my god.
I give you an
What
A.
is this episode?
I have no idea, but I love it.
Oh,
All right.
It is. It is important to play. It is the joy
Take
of
another
Cacao.
sip.
I haven't had any sips yet.
Yeah, you gotta have sips.
People are gonna think that this like just makes you high and goofy.
I think, first of all, it definitely does. When I do take Cacao, which is just reminding me how important it is. Because I was doing it for a while, and I left, and then I'm gonna get back to giving you your suggestion, because you ain't getting out of this shit.
I know.
But I would be so goofy and kind of high for half the day, to the point where Emma would be like, "What is wrong with you?"
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, in a great
Compliment.
way. It really, yeah. What is wrong with you is great, especially in a time like this when we're all stressed. So when you're goofy to the max, it's amazing. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So I want you to introduce Cassidy Bowker. I had two options here. Let's go with as the surprise guest for the gathering of the Juggalos. Are we familiar with the Juggalos?
Yes, I insane clown posse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's this should be flattering, by the way. Tila Tequila was a special guest at one of the previous ones, so.
How do you know that?
Because they threw rocks at her.
Oh my god.
Yeah. They.
Did they just bring her just to have
I
on at her? Is
don't.
it like when my friends had fraternity parties in college and they would hire midgets to throw?
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, they did.
I don't appreciate
They
that.
did. I didn't do it. I wasn't part of it. They had
No.
midget. Yeah, they hired, and some of them were famous midgets. Little people.
Oh my god.
No.
That's interesting. Do you know if they still do that? Because I'm looking for work.
We couldn't afford a real. Never mind.
Did I hide out of it? Is this like Annie, where like every time, when you're cast at Annie on Broadway, and then they do the height check, and then you age or hide out of it? Am I too
I think you're just barely.
too tall?
Yeah. No, yeah, one of my friends, he threw Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern Show. So that's my friend's kind of.
That's amazing.
I'm sorry. This is a real fact that happened. I'm not endorsing it.
Oh, I have so many questions, and
People are cruel. There's some weird things that go on.
Sometimes there's always actually a method to my madness. But I just question. I just question.
Sometimes I just, bring up stuff that's real.
Wow.
Right? That's my next cause. Is stopping.
How do you even say what you're stopping without sounding offensive? You can't even sound. No.
This will be the last nighttime podcast.
Oh my god! I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah.
All right, all you effing juggalos out there. Let's give it one more big juggalo round of a yell for Horny Bob. Oh my God, yeah, good for him for coming out. He just lost his grandmother. He was gonna come, but he sacked up and he did it for you. Fucking losers.
This is the Juggalos. They love that. If you don't call them effing losers, then they don't feel like they fit in.
Yeah. Anyways, so listen, you guys, we got a real special guest for you. I hate to bring it down from Horny Bob's dead grandma, but we got a real special guest for you guys tonight. She went to Guatemala, okay, one time. She has studied the medicinal effects of Everclear.
Yeah, I love that band.
No, not the band. Somebody stone that guy. Stone him.
I'm already stoned.
No, rock at him. Do what you did to tequila. Okay, we're not talking about tequila. Not talking about Everclear, the band. We're talking about Everclear, the delicious alcohol. You were all given a bottle with admission. Thank you guys. Everclear is here, but they're just big fans. What?
Jeffrey J was the winner.
How dare you? I was just getting to the insane clown posse.
That's the problem with game shows, is they always cut you off before you get to the good part. Like, Flyer was about to explode. He had pyrotechnics, but you're the Simon Cowell who didn't let him get there.
I didn't even give you your insane clown, your juggalo name.
Oh.
They all have juggalo names.
Tell me the juggalo name.
This is Hasty Bethany.
I just can't relate because I know nothing about these juggalos.
If you do, this is relatively funny. I don't know.
If you could relate, there would be an issue.
Yeah, if you could relate, we wouldn't be married.
Then how do you guys know all about this stuff?
Because you made a mistake when you married.
Yeah. We used to, back in our juggalo days.
Yeah, my name is Filthy Ted.
Because because it's fascinating enough to learn about. That's why I know a little bit about it.
You know a lot. You know about tequila.
Yeah, that was just a fun fact story.
I watched a documentary one time about those pony boys or My Little Pony
Bronies.
people. Bronies.
Oh yeah, bronies.
We can't get into.
Anyways, thank you.
You know the medicinal effects of ponies.
I really appreciate you.
This was lovely.
Everything in, man.
So this has been a wonderful late night episode that we will not be having again.
Yes.
Now, we'll sprinkle one of these in.
Oh.
Listeners, all you listeners out there.
Guess what? I've just learned we can do this anytime. It doesn't have to be nighttime for me to drink way too much cacao. I can drink it. Oh, you know what? What'd you say, Bo?
Oh, I was gonna say I never drink cacao. I drink cacao every morning now.
Yeah, I've never had it at night. I am excited to tell you whatever happens after this, when I go to bed, what kind of mood I'm in. Who knows? Because last time I did it, and to give a little info about when Cassidy was first introducing me to it, she was like, all right, so just so you know, when you go home, you may want to make love. And I'm sorry, that's not supposed to be funny, but I don't think at the time I took it in and I was like, this is lovely, and then later on I realized, like, that's weird. If my neighbor gave me something and then said, just so you know, when you go home, you may have the urge to make love. It's like, what is my life with you two where we talk about things so beautifully and openly that it takes me days later or another time of saying it out loud to realize it's weird?
What other things could there have ever been that you might feel that way about, Jeff?
That's really funny.
God, so many things. What was that show? We used to watch a show together about people with messed up bodies.
Ooh, that was a good show. It was like
Yeah, but like,
it was like a British show.
yeah.
And you're supposed to go into the van
Bang bus.
and tell them the random things you got going on in your body. And people were really into that show. People were really into it.
Oh my God. So anywho, I don't know if I'll be in the mood to. I don't know if I'll be up all night. I don't know if I'll be in the mood to make some love. I don't know, like what kind of mood I'll be. I had a crazy day, so typically I'd be winding down, but now I feel full of creativity and energy. So God only knows.
That's awesome. Well, it has less. Fun fact. She's the scholar on it, but I like to say things.
Yeah.
It has less caffeine than a cup of decaf coffee. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I get energized from it as well. But it's different. Like Cassidy said, it's not like the neuro system, it's like the heart system. And it is that joy and that creativity, I think, that is what's coming alive and bringing that energy. And I think it's a healthier sort of energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I wonder, but I wonder if I'll even be able to go to sleep because I feel so energized right now.
Cool.
Or if I want to. Or if I do go to sleep, what dreams will I have?
Ooh, papa.
This is true. So
tell us everything, Cass.
So what's the deal with cacao? You know, this is the great question of the century. Now, okay, listen, you're seeing cacao on shelves in the grocery store, right? You're hearing people make smoothies with cacao, and you're hearing this word cacao. What is it? We have family members that are like, I need some of that cocoa. What is it? It's cocoa. So we've been told a lie, you guys. We've been fed a lie, literally been fed a lie. We've been being fed a made-up product.
Yeah. Literally?
Okay.
Chocolate. Yeah, literally.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So chocolate. What is chocolate, right? Chocolate is an invented word. Okay, chocolate is an invented substance. If you look at the back of a Hershey's bar ingredient list, right, it's like sugar, milk, I don't know, all of the things that make things preservatives. There we go, that's the word. Mm-hmm. And then it will say chocolate or milk chocolate or something of the like, right? It doesn't say cacao. So cacao, let's reel it on back. So what is chocolate? Chocolate comes from cacao. So people say the cacao is chocolate in its purest form, right? This is what you're really consuming. Only it's been extracted and altered in many, many, many ways, processed in many ways, different things added to it, flavors added to it.
To become chocolate.
Exactly, to become chocolate as we know it today, right? Chocolate as we know it today is like a candy. It can be a flavor, maybe. But this is not what it was once in time. Once in time, through lineages way back, okay, we have like the Mayan people who still live on today, in places like Guatemala and elsewhere in Central and South America. Previous to the Mayan people, there's the Toltec, the Olmecs, I won't really get too deep.
The Habsburgs.
I won't get too deep into history of cacao, right? But so this has been passed on through different civilizations, tribes, right? And the cacao was seen as currency. It was really revered and treasured. And so here's an example here, okay? So cacao in its purest form is in a pod, and it's kind of I know I don't have a cacao pod, you guys.
Oh.
But what I do have are cacao beans.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So the cacao is in a pod. The pod is actually quite large.
Yeah.
And yeah, like a kind of like a cylinder shape. It's really, really big. And then inside of the cacao fruit, when you cut it open, it's this white. It's really sweet and delicious, and children like to eat that part and then just spit out the seeds.
Did you have it?
Oh yes, absolutely delicious, very sweet. And then inside are the cacao beans. So here's the little cacao bean, and this cacao bean has been dried out, fermented, lightly toasted, and then here you have it right here, and you can eat these. They're so delicious.
You just eat it up?
You just eat them up. I mean, yeah. So you can work with cacao just like that, right?
Do they taste kind of like when you eat an espresso bean?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Do they taste kind of like an espresso bean?
They taste more like an almond almost.
What?
Like a little earthier, nutty, dark, super dark chocolate, if you will. But I would say nutty.
They're very gritty. Like it's like I see what you mean about an espresso bean. I can see that. It's kind of, I would say it's between an almond and an espresso bean.
All right.
Okay. So this is as close to, the pure, the original form as we're gonna get right here, right now.
And what do you, when you buy them, do you buy them just so that you can eat them like that? Or do you do other things with the beans?
The beans?
Yeah.
The beans, yeah. So I like to eat them. So every day for the past maybe 4-ish or more months, 5 months, we've had cacao as a part of our daily ritual. So we drink cacao, we will eat cacao. Maybe if I'm not drinking cacao that day, I might just eat some of the beans throughout the day. So I have a little bit of that plant medicine and spirit within my body. And then also you can take some of the cacao paste. So here's a brick of cacao paste, and typically it comes in this brick form. It's like a block shape, right? And you can see on this one, it has a lot of, it almost looks like cloudy,
yeah,
type of waves.
Keep like talking.
Like a galaxy, okay?
Yeah, keep talking, because I'm going to get my other brand and compare it. So, yeah, so keep going. I'm listening.
The stuff we're showing you guys is Keith's Cacao.
So this is Keith's Cacao, and
that's who Cassidy went back to Guatemala and spent time with Keith of Keith's Cacao. And yeah.
Yeah.
Keith Wilson, who does a lot of inner work, intuitively guided, and he's a really brilliant, beautiful soul. If you ever have time to check him out, keithscacao.com. You can join one of his virtual cacao ceremonies and receive some of his insight and wisdom. It's quite profound and beautiful. He incorporates a lot of quantum physics and speaks to, shifting your reality, shifting your experience. You can shift on behalf of other people too. But anyways, so if you notice within this brick of cacao, there's a lot of almost like clouds or like galaxies, as Bo describes it, right? So what is this? This is actually the cacao butter. This is the cacao butter separating from the cacao paste. And this is important to note because, so what's really popular right now is something like this. This is
Here's what I have.
Is a great brand that you'll see a lot. Who do you have, Jeff?
So I have Divine Organics.
Oh, I never seen that before.
And can I show you my little part of my brick?
Oh, wait, so that comes in a brick.
Yeah, it comes in a brick. Or not a brick, but like big chunks like this.
Nice.
And then, so I don't know if this is good or bad, but I will tell you, like, when I was trying to find it, this was months ago. I'm kind of like rubbing it so that you can maybe see some of the stuff. When I was trying to find it, I was trying to find something back when COVID first started that was going to be affordable, but that was as close to what you say is good cacao. So I don't know this is good or bad or whatever, but I will tell you that it was $8.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And it's
Deal.
$8 for 8 ounces.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's very
That's
inexpensive.
very cheap.
It was. So I also thought, like, this can't be great. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I just thought I'd throw that.
Disclosure,
Yeah.
everyone. Cassidy like works closely with Keith's Cacao and is a practitioner of Keith's Cacao, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing, and I just kind of want to clarify something. I don't really categorize things as good or bad. I will just categorize, if I have to, or label, if you will, as maybe more pure, more authentic, more potent, more true.
I will tell you, it tasted different. So I don't know what that was or how or why, but this tasted very different than yours. And I will say that it tasted smoother, and in my opinion, that's a bad thing.
Right.
Because
So,
it tasted more processed, and I don't know what that may mean, and I'm speaking out of knowing nothing. But what I do know is I feel this was great, and I did feel good on it.
Cool.
But there was something different about Keith's Cacao. It was darker for sure.
Right.
It was a little more gritty in a way that not in a bad way.
Right.
But it was definitely different, and it's still a pace, so I don't know why it would be different in me knowing nothing.
mhm. So those are all really great thoughts, Jeffrey J. So in regards to some of the things that you're noting, so you're noting it's a little bit smoother. It does seem like it has some cacao butter. I kind of see the swirliness there. So it doesn't seem like it's too processed. The price point does
But not as much. Look, there you can see on this side. Check that out.
The price point does make me wonder a little bit. So here's another example of a brick of cacao. This is heart blood. You see it's kind of shiny.
Yeah.
It's kind of shiny and pretty. And when I cut this, it doesn't just crumble. I don't know, when you cut your cacao, Jeffrey J, that, what's it called? Divinely guided? Is that what
Yeah,
you know?
Divine Organics.
Okay, so when
Sacred Cacao.
Divine Organics. So it doesn't say pure ceremonial grade. It just
It
says
does not, because I looked for that too, and it did not. But it says Sacred Cacao. But whatever. Who knows? I don't know what any of this means.
interesting. You know, we don't really know what anything means on packaging because packaging can be quite loose. So you have to really know what you are purchasing and investing in and eating and consuming right nowadays. People have that stamp. So, for example, something
Sorry.
like, oh, go
Real
ahead.
quick, just to before we get off of this, it says the origin is Ecuador / Peru / Venezuela. So that's gonna.
Interesting.
I mean, it's interesting when you don't have one very specific location.
Right.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Sounds like they're sourcing all over and using a bunch of different beans to make that. And we don't know how they're sourcing those beans. We don't know. Does it say anything like.
Or next time, is it going to be totally different because this time it came from a different place than the last one? And what was their factory situation? I mean, that.
Yeah.
And with Keith's, I know is not even factory setting.
Yeah, and my point is not to discount any other cacao brands. My point is simply to just sort of educate us in a sense in regards to what cacao is and what are we looking for. When we're looking for ceremonial grade cacao, this is what we're all, well, this is what Jeffrey J thought he was drinking.
Yeah.
And that's okay, right? That's okay.
Yeah.
You're still consuming cacao, right? So again, so there's stuff like this on the shelf. This is Navitas. This is a really popular brand.
Just kidding.
And it's a powder. This is a powder. Now, if you'll notice, actually, next time you go to Whole Foods or any other market and you see the Navitas brand on the shelves of cacao, this is cacao plus goji and acai. Next to it, they'll typically have cacao butter.
Yeah.
Side by side. Here's the cacao powder. Here's the cacao butter. The butter is an essential component of the cacao. The butter is necessary, right, for these key ingredients, not ingredients, for these key nutrients and compounds, and the bioactive compounds, right? This is what has the psychoactive aspect of the cacao. This butter is extremely important for it. So when you end up dehydrating it to the point of it's now a powder, it is lacking in that butter, which is so incredibly beautiful and important. Right? So there's just a couple of things to note. Like there's other brands. So this is Firefly. Firefly is actually the brand that we first started working with, and we really loved Firefly. They have beautiful packaging. It says on the label that it's organic, right? It's ceremonial cacao. It's really beautiful. Usually they have different offerings. This one is Glowing Guatemala. We have one from Tanzania. I've seen Boundless Belize. They have tons. They're so beautiful. I actually love their intention. I think that Jonas, I think his name, who owns the company, he's a beautiful person. When you call their customer support, he answers personally.
Yeah, he's really great.
He's guided through and got us our product. He's wonderful. Okay, so their whole thing, or one of their things, is they have the cacao and it's made into these little discs.
Yeah, I've seen that when I was trying to figure it out myself, and it would say like add 9 discs to.
Right.
Yeah. So we felt, wow, that's so awesome. That's great. This is convenient. And so when I was looking at what's the best cacao on the market, I would see Firefly pop up as a great one. And then I would see people say like, who wants to cut a brick? Who wants to cut it? Use the discs. They're so easy and convenient. Okay, so listen, let me ask you a question. When you're diving into inner work, when you're investing in a therapist, when you're going into yoga class and meditation, when you're going on a retreat, when you're investing money in maybe breath work, do you want it to be cheap, easy, and quick and convenient for you? Is that what you want, really, truly? I mean, I would love it to be that easy. I would love to be like healed in 5 seconds tomorrow, right? Yeah. But I don't think it's that easy. And so I don't know if convenience is really what I want to aim toward in my practice, my ritual, in honoring the plant medicine and in my relationship with it. Again, this is a beautiful product, and I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the people. But they're just tiny, tiny little things that I think about now that I realize, like, Bo really enjoys the process of holding that brick and shaving off just what he needs for that day, right? It actually reinforces the thought of not over-consuming, right?
Yeah, it is satisfying too. And things that are perfect in shape, just like with the things we buy at the store, are not natural. They're not the best. I mean, go eat a strawberry you grow in your garden. It looks like a butt because it's like the imperfection of it is nature. And so when something is perfectly cut out and shaped, to me, it takes away from, what it is. And most things can't be, and you have to do some sort of artificial process to make it in that shape. So.
Yeah, and I think, for me personally, like the closer I can get to eating something as close to its original form as possible, the better I feel. Yeah. And because I believe that that's the way it was intended, and the less people that are between me getting my food or whatever, the better, and that's the thing that I personally love about Keith's Cacao, and what I feel like I can taste the difference. And this is not it's funny because real quick, Cassidy is awesome about trying every different kind of cacao on the market. Like,
Yeah.
like even though she like went to Guatemala and stayed with Keith and blah 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 and did all this stuff, like and as I said, like works with them closely, like she's very committed to. She wants to know. She wants to know what's out there, what other people are using. And she's not. I love that about you. That you're not like, no, Keith is the best because that's what I know and that's what I like. Like she's like, well, no. Like she was very into a different kind for a little bit because she's like, no, this is whatever this is. This is what I need right now. This is really calling to me and this is really serving me right now. And so she took kind of a break, you know, from the Keith's cacao and whatever. And so I love that like she's so open. And whereas I was like, yeah, let me try that one. No, that's disgusting. That doesn't taste like a bunch of ladies friggin' took the beans and prayed over them.
Yeah, and washed them with their own mouths.
Hand toasted and roasted.
No, and like because that's part of it is that they. What does Keith do? He has
a lot of these actually, like for example, heart blood. I know. Well, like I could speak maybe perhaps to Keith's and maybe perhaps to heart blood just because I've been researching that a lot and
what does Keith do?
I'll speak to what I've seen. Okay, what I've seen, and let me just also note that I had never even tried Keith's cacao before I went to Guatemala. I had never even tried it. I just was called. I really truly was called. And imagine telling your husband, honey, I gotta go to Guatemala. I'm really feeling called, and I'm really feeling called. I'm really feeling called, and he's like, oh my God, Lord, please. Another trip. All right. At this point, he knows that it's true, and this is what I'm feeling. So I was called, and now I see it was called for a reason. This is absolutely incredible stuff, you guys. I love cacao for the heart-opening plant medicine that it is. The way that it's open, it's a wow.
Your cacao's wearing off.
No, I think I'm just way hyped.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, the way it's able to guide you to something, right? So I love the way that he expresses it. He says the cacao guides you to the door, but doesn't push you through it, right? Brings you to the door, but doesn't push you through it. Of whatever you need to work on in life, it will reveal something to you, but it's not going to force you there. For example, some plant medicines are hallucinogenic. They are psychedelic.
Like the ayahuasca.
Right? Like ayahuasca. And that will take you on a whole nother mind trip that could be really beautiful and powerful and could be really frightening to some, depending on the place that you are in emotionally. This is not going to make you hallucinate. Okay?
Yeah.
This is really quite lovely. So what makes it a plant medicine and also a superfood? Again, it's a superfood in that it is full of antioxidants, very high in magnesium, in iron, and manganese, and also other and more, okay? And then also has the psychoactive compounds like PEA, phenylethylamine, and anandamide, which is the bliss neurotransmitter that we naturally produce in our mind. PEA is a love neurotransmitter. We naturally produce this, right, in our body's composition. I say mind, but it's produced in the brain. And it also contains MAOIs, so all ceremonial grade cacaos. And I will even say, that cacao that you have, Jeffrey J., it probably still has some of these things. Like, this is why people say they get a chocolate high. This is why people say that chocolate is an aphrodisiac. Because guess what? At its root source, right here, it is. It is. It has all of those happy hormones and chemicals inside of it. The MAOIs, we know this, and this may sound familiar through antidepressants. So there are a generation of antidepressants, and they're known as MAOIs, monoamine oxidase inhibitors. So basically, MAOIs slow down the processing of these happy hormones that we have in our brain, in our bodies. Some bodies process them too quickly. So MAOIs prolong the effect of that bliss, of that love. Okay? So
That's cool.
Now you're eating and drinking cacao, ceremonial grade pure cacao, and you're receiving more of these happy, beautiful hormones, these neurotransmitters that we naturally produce in our body. And we have the MAOIs that prolong. This is why when you drink coffee, you drink caffeine, and you drink it, and then in a couple hours, you're going to crash hard and you need another cup, right? Maybe a couple cups that day. Not with cacao. You have your one cup and you ride that bliss throughout your day, and you are energized, right? Because of the theobromine, similar to caffeine, but it's also really good for you. It's part of why it's a superfood. Athletes, some drink like, what are those? A pre-workout, stuff like that. That's bad for your body. It's full of caffeine because you want that energy, that zing, so you can go harder and longer in your workout, right? Now, here is a more natural way to have something like that. So you drink your cacao, and there are beautiful people that I've seen that I know that are practitioners, that are athletes, and they drink their cacao or eat some cacao before they work out, or before they go running or bike riding or hiking or mountain climbing. And what it does is it relaxes cardiac smooth muscle tissue, and it is a vasodilator. So our blood vessels are better able to flow. This is why it puts you in this heart state of flow, in this creative flow, that you just kind of feel like, if you see me kind of like moving and grooving all the time, this is because I kind of got cacao going in my body, and I'm really excited, and I want to move, and I want to work. And your hands are an extension of your heart, right? So you want to do different things.
Absolutely, yeah. No, and at a lot of like cacao ceremonies that you may go to, they will have like ecstatic dance at the end, where like you're just moving and grooving, and like it's awesome because, again, like it just, and this has like been a mantra for me as in the last several days as I'm doing my practice, which is I'm focusing on quieting my mind and amplifying my heart.
That's beautiful.
And that's really what it does. Like, it really helps you just get out of your head. And where are you? No. It helps you get out of your head and just be more free. Because that's what happens when you do open up your heart. You know, that's something that I found that's been part of why this has been such a wonderful medicine for me on a daily basis. And like, that's why I almost feel like self-conscious in moments, because I'm like, God, it sounds like a commercial for like Keith's Cacao, but or any cacao. But obviously it's not, and it is just something that I personally am so passionate about, because this has been a big part of my journey, is opening my heart, and tapping into that vibration, and in experiencing a more open heart. I've just felt like a different man, a different, it's just been a completely different experience, and of life. And drinking cacao has been a huge part of it. And I want to clarify too, because it's not, for me personally, it's not just about like, oh, get this in my body and then I'm off, you know, like some people do with coffee, for example. And to me, it's like what we talked about with, like, just from the get-go, from the chopping, like, it's all meditation for me. You know, I'm able to be a little bit more present in the activity of what I'm doing. And then every sip that you take, typically what I do, and in a usually like a bigger cacao ceremony, is every every sip is mindful, and not only mindful, but focused in gratitude. and so your first sip will often be to call in the spirits of Mama Cacao.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think we'll have to get to next week but I would love to next week talk about uh the what to me was the thing that got me more attached to cacao than anything other than I get, all these great feelings, but that isn't always the reason for me to stick with something. The idea that I took these moments and my life is different when I drink cacao, because y'all trained me basically that you drink cacao this way. So I don't really know. This was the weirdest way I've ever had cacao because I just started drinking it with you. It
Right.
felt weird, I'll be honest, to just
Yeah.
drink it because I usually, and we'll talk about this next week, and I don't even know how y'all do your ceremonies. I just made it up the way I do it because I
Which
know I'm supposed to have a ceremony.
is beautiful. That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
I just grab the cup and I put it against my heart because it's warm and feels
That's what I do.
wonderful. Yeah, it feels good in your warm heart.
Yeah.
And then I say all the things that I'm grateful for, and I thank the universe and try and imagine everything it took for this to get into my hands,
Yeah.
like the journey that it
Yeah.
took. And I try and thank everybody who helped it on this journey to getting to me. And I hope to continue its positive journey by putting positive into the world.
Yes.
And
That's very similar to my experience, Jeff, and what I do. That's so cool, dude. I love that, man. I love hearing that.
that's so cool. I didn't know, and I'm curious. We'll go into the ceremony stuff next week.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I'll ask is, and the reason I brought up this one, oh God, throwing shit, was because it was something I knew I could find that I could afford to try it before committing to a really good cacao. And I thought it was a good way to go with getting a starter cacao because it's not great tasting. Like when you're raised as an American on hot cocoa,
Right.
this is jarring.
Yes. Like, I mean, I love cacao. Like, I love the earthiness of it. It was a little bit of adjustment for me, but I'm not a huge chocolate person. And yeah, if you go in expecting like, ooh, chocolate, like, then you're going to be sorely disappointed. But yeah.
If you're a vegan already, then you know already, like, it's one of those things that you start with and you're like, this is not great, and then you end up loving it so much for so many reasons. But it's like if you're a vegan and you eat vegan cheese, you don't like it the first time, but eventually you fall in love with it.
Right.
Yeah, or maybe you just haven't, maybe if you start off with like a really yummy, accessible type of recipe, then you might love it the first time, But I think it's like when you don't, yeah, it's just something you have to try, definitely, and it's different, different palates, right? Different palates will like it for different reasons, and um, chocolate is really, really processed to the form that we know it as, shiny. There's that snap, right? No grittiness. Like, right, we're talking about with Keats. There's a lot of grittiness right now in my cup.
Yeah.
Because it's not processed for mouthfeel. It's not made so that it can feel nice in your mouth or look pretty. It's honored.
That's my motto.
It's revered. So anyways, and then one last thing that I'll touch on, actually, because I think this episode was mainly to be like a little like, what is it? Sort of informational, a little bit of the science behind it, the reason why it's a superfood, the reasons why it's a plant medicine. Last thing I'll touch on, Jeffrey J, and this might make a little sense in regards to maybe why yours is so cheap. So there are different,
inexpensive.
Inexpensive,
Yeah. Yeah.
So Thank you. Inexpensive.
Right now.
So there are the original trees, right? Original cacao trees, like the OG trees. And for example, in Guatemala, they call these criollo cacao trees, and they're growing naturally in the understory of the rainforest on quote unquote farms. Okay, so when I went to Guatemala in the Lake Atitlan region of Guatemala, and we ended up traveling to, I think it was Santiago Atitlan. I don't really remember where we were traveling around that lake, but we ended up venturing deep into the rainforest one day, taking a hike and visiting one of these farms. I say quote unquote farms because when I think of a farm, and I don't know about you guys,
there's pigs there.
Goats.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking of like an almond farm or an almond orchard, I'm thinking of rows and rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of almond trees, right?
Yeah.
She's only ever heard of an almond farm.
Yeah.
Crops, right?
Old MacDonald had some almonds.
I'm thinking trees, you guys. I'm thinking apples, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, there's rows and rows of them. I'm thinking plantation style. So, no. When we arrived at this farm, they were pointing out, oh, hey, there's one. There's a cacao tree. There's a couple over there. And I'm looking around thinking, okay, but where are the crops?
Where's the rows?
Where are the real, where are the
Yeah.
rest of the crops? These aren't the real trees. Show me the real trees.
Right.
And oh no, well, these are them. They are by default organic because they're growing in the natural conditions that they've always grown. They don't have to do anything to them.
Yeah.
They don't have to add anything to their soil. They don't have to kill off any this or that and protect them. This is the natural condition that they've been grown in for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So this is why it's beautiful, and this is why little things that you notice on packaging, sometimes it says organic, sometimes it does not. And does that mean that it's bad? Not necessarily, right? There's a third-party company who you're paying to come out and assess that farm and label it as organic. And what about these independent, very small, quote-unquote, farms? And they are farms, but not what we think of, right? I'm a very hand visual type of person.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's one thing to know. So there are hybrid versions of these cacao trees. I think they're called forastero cacao trees. And they are in places like Africa, for example. And big companies like Swiss Miss buy their cacao to make their chocolate from these hybrid trees grown on plantations. Yes, like we know them to be. That because they're hybrid, they're crossbred to be bigger beans. They're larger beans, so they can buy them cheaper. So these smaller beans from these smaller farms are more expensive. And this is why this is just a part of a brick of cacao. This is $50. This is heart blood, and I forget, I don't know, maybe it's $35 or $40. Right? That's still a lot.
So take your $8 bag, Jeff.
No, I'm just kind of showing different price points, right? This is Firefly cacao. This bag was probably about almost $45, almost $50. All for about the same amount of ounces, 16 ounces.
But what I love about Jeff's thing is, like you were saying, Jeff earlier, is that with Jeff's bag, for example, it's not good or bad, like you said. Yeah. It's wonderful that it's accessible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as a starter as well, because otherwise who's gonna just jump in and be like, yeah, give me the $50 brick of chocolate. Oh my God, it tastes like the ground.
And I will say, when I say accessible, I drove 25 minutes to a specific health store that I knew had something that was somewhere similar to your Keys Cacao, not knowing it would be $8, hoping that it wouldn't be, that whatever it is, I could get it. But, and I just wanted to get something a while ago because you had given me cacao. And then we couldn't see each other for some reason. I think COVID, and we were all being very specific or something. And that's why. But I will tell you that it was nice just kind of seeing if it was my starter bag. I knew it was my starter bag. And
We will
that's why I
cacao
got it.
shame you. We will not cacao shame you.
It's hard to find it. Like, to those, to my mother who's listening in Texas, I don't know where you're going to find. I have no clue where you're going to find this type of cacao that is like, in brick form somewhere in Texas.
Right.
But it's kind of like you've taught me this. So when Bo and I first started dating, and I know we have to wrap it up here shortly. When we first started dating, I was in nursing school, finishing nursing school, working as a server in a restaurant, living tips to tips. Right? We were talking about this recently, and so no. Tips. Anyways.
I think Bo and Nips.
Yeah.
Bo and Nips, and I went tips. So we went tips to Nips.
You guys are too much. I didn't have a savings, right? I didn't have time for a savings.
She didn't have money.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't going to invest in a super expensive free people dress and let it last me God knows how long. I was going to go to the local, what are those?
Let me tell you.
What those.
I took Cassidy to a wedding of one of my very good friends from college. She wore grocery bags from the store, and she cut holes in the arms.
Oh my god, I thought you were not describing Cassidy. I thought you were describing your friend's dress.
No.
And then she did some sort of great Etsy thing, and I was like, good God, I hate this human, whoever your friend is.
Cassidy wore a burlap sack.
You guys, let's try to keep it together, okay? So let's try
to
keep it together.
You talked about
it's 11 o'clock.
You talked about floor is lava for 30 minutes.
We did an improv exercise.
So my point is that I wasn't going to invest in some gorgeous gown from Free People. I was going to get something that was easy, convenient, and accessible to me. A $10 hot little cute number from Forever 21.
Claire, your wedding dress came with free ear piercings.
Yeah. Anyways, and so in time, Bo was like, "Why are you just buying these, kind of cheap clothes that are ripping and falling apart? Why don't you just invest in something, a little bit nicer?" And so he sort of taught me the value of investing in something like that. So I understand what you're saying, Jeffrey J, in that, listen, I just want to try this. I know that it's great. I know that it's cool. I want to try it. Let me see what's accessible to me out there. But and that has its place too. But what if, I don't know. That's kind of like a maybe that's.
Well, for me, it was solidifying that I wanted to make a 50 to buy a better cacao. Yeah. I needed it for me in order to, because there's nothing worse than jumping into something and being like, it's not for me. And not that I expected it to not be for me, but part of something like this for me is also making it my own journey and a reason why I want to do it and figuring out my own reasons. Because
beautiful.
Yeah. So that's why I did it. It was arguably more difficult to do all the research I did than find the stupid store, then go to it. And this was right in the beginning of the pandemic too, where everything was weird.
Yeah.
And I had to drive really far, and it was just the whole thing was a hassle from start to finish. But it was part of me getting this cacao, which then invested me in coming back and actually doing it regularly. Because when things are too easy, you take it for granted and you're not invested in it. It's the reason why you should pay for your own shit. Because when someone pays for it for you, and I'm not saying don't help other people. Please do. I help people constantly. And it's my favorite thing to do in the world. Before I'll spend money on myself, I'll treat someone to something because it gives me more joy than anything else in the world.
Yeah.
But when I have to do something for myself, I respect it more. I respect the process. I care for it more. And it's a terrible thing to have to do, too. I wish everyone could just buy me everything.
No, but you're so right, dude. And we talk about that all the time. It's like, you know, with like some of Cassidy's like services, like healing groups and things like that, like breath work and things like that. You know, I mentioned an idea the other day where I was like, oh, like what if I could have like a friend come, like there's so many people that I want to introduce to your breath work. Like, what if I like, and I think this person would like it, like, could they just like come for free this time? And she was like, well, look, if they're not investing in it, then they're not going to get that much out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say you could have a discount for sure because
Oh,
I'm more likely to try something new if I get luck your first time's $10 or whatever the heck it is. I'm definitely more likely to try it and then knowing like if I love it, then pay the full price or whatever.
right,
But
right.
I totally get that. Also, there's only so much space in your classes and etc. So,
and I think that we as a people, we really don't acknowledge our worth, our worthiness.
Right.
And especially in the healing spiritual community, we think that we should be giving away everything for free. And I'm guilty of that myself. I think I would love to give everything away for free. I don't want to charge anything, but I had to do a lot of healing work around that because what is money? Money is love. It's just an exchange, right?
Energy.
It's an energy exchange. And if you're just showing up and you take and then you leave, where's the exchange? You know?
yeah, and also too, it's not good when you eventually start feeling taken advantage of or unappreciated and all that stuff. And also, there's places for you to do it whenever you feel called to it. Then you'll have a moment of, I'm gonna do this class for whatever, or I'm gonna gift this to somebody for free because I feel like they need it right now, and I'm called to give that to them, and that's when it makes sense to you, etc. But yeah, because you also, it's not good for you if you don't feel respected for what you do.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so thank you, listeners. Thank you for bearing with us. Thank you. I'm actually, as we sort of got more serious here, talking about all the ins and outs of Cacao, I was kind of like, ooh, are we too boring? Are we like losing people here? And then when we were being really silly, I was thinking, oh no, ooh, are we not being like educational enough and staying on topic enough? So it's really interesting to see how the mind works and how the ego gets
Yeah.
tripped up.
Well, it all like at one point we were very silly, and then we were really, but we just covered it all. We As long as we balance it out by being too goofy and off the wall, and then get way too boring towards the end, we'll cover everybody. The people who were goofy when we were in the beginning, people are like, "This is why I followed them," and then by the end of it, we got boring, and the boring people were like, "This is why I came here."
You're so funny, Jeff. Also, I'd like to say shout out to all you improvers out there, if there are improv listeners, because yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. I
We
really
lost them.
are a disservice tonight, but I had fun doing it. I often tell Bo I want to play Middlevich and Middlevich or what
Oh,
Middleditch.
Middle Dish and Schwartz.
Yeah, I love that.
Fantastic. If you need something to pull yourself out of it, this is my dead serious thing to say. If you need to get out of your serious life for a moment, put on one of the episodes of Middleditch and Schwartz on Netflix. It is arguably one of the most brilliant pieces of comedy, improv. I mean, I'm just going to say comedy, not even just improv.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, and you just get to go on a free journey with them. I think it's the perfect thing for this moment.
Yeah.
We need to lighten up. We not in a spiritually bypassing toxic positivity way. You know, we do need to lighten up a little bit and give yourself a break energetically. And this is kind of why I wanted to play. Like, let's take a moment to just be for a little bit, cleanse, neutralize, laugh a little, shake it off, and then you can come back, right? Come back to those really good intentions of healing, of changing the world, of shifting your perspectives. And
No.
oh, I thought you said and.
No.
Oh, nothing.
I love this. What?
He said end it. He said end it. Okay, all right. I hear you. Okay, it's 11:17 at
end
night.
the show.
Yeah.
So, you guys, I get it. I'm getting the light. See?
You got the light.
You got the light. All right. Well, this is lovely. Do we want to do a little mini, like, 1 minute moment of reflection?
Yeah. I hear you. 20 seconds. 20 seconds reflection, you guys, okay? If you're listening and if it's also 11 o'clock at night as you're listening, go ahead and lie in your bed.
Yeah, introduce the audience member who's listening. They're at home.
Okay. If you're at home, if you're in a safe space where it is comfortable to close your eyes, accessible to you to close your eyes, go ahead and do so now. Take a deep breath there. If you are driving and listening, keep your eyes on the road. Take a deep breath. Fill up in your belly, your chest, feel your side ribs expand, and then exhale, open mouth. Let go of some of that sticky, heavy, thick energy that you may be carrying right now in light of these times, which have been a little bit probably uncomfortable, maybe chaotic at times, heavy on the heart. So really breathe into that energy. Pull it up from the tips of your toes, up the full length of your legs, belly, heart, shoulders, neck, and out the crown of the head. Let it out. And then give yourself a little gratitude. Take one hand to your heart here. Feel into your essence, your core, your being, and that is love and only love. And give yourself a big thank you. Maybe tell yourself, I love you. Thank you for being open. Thank you for being willing. It's so important right now to try different things on. See if they work for you. See if they fit in your life. And if they do not, that is okay. Go ahead and set them down. And with Mama Cacao and her spirit, I extend to you a smile, a little laughter, a little love, a little play in your day. Maybe open up your eyes and return back into your body in this space. Try on a little improv today. Grab a friend, grab a partner, someone you love. Hit up an improv game on Zoom, maybe, and let us know. What are you playing out there? I want to play too.
Yeah. This is lovely. I love you guys.
I love you too, Jeff. Thank you guys for listening.